new clients come along all the time. And in the beginning, you will take every single client you get because you think, oh, wow, somebody wants my business, so I'll take them. And you get those people that just do not value what you do. They have no respect for your knowledge, and they become a pain. Like, they're just more hassle than they're worth. So what happens when you start implementing systems and learning how to grow and recognizing your value is you get to a point where you not only have control over your workday, but you also get to pick and choose your clients because you're now in demand. Your clients know that you get things done on time. You don't miss deadlines because of your systems that you've got in place. You don't spend time struggling to find, where did I put this file? Where did I put that file? You know where everything is at the drop of a hat. It's so systematic.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. I am your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be a great one. Our return guest is a Pure Bookkeeping North America licensee and has 25 years experience in the bookkeeping industry. She's the owner of the Markham Group, and I'm happy to chat with her again. Lisa Campbell-Marchese, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks, Michael. It's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and I'm so excited to hear. It's actually exactly 1 year ago, actually 13 months ago, because you were here with us May 2017. That was episode 35. And wow. If listeners are listening, it was an awesome episode. Go back and listen to that one. But we're going to talk about some updates, where you've been, how you've improved upon your business. But before we get into all of that, can you tell for the listeners who are just meeting you for the first time, a little bit about yourself and your journey thus far?
Oh, sure. It's been quite the journey. Okay, so I've been a bookkeeper for a long, long time, kind of on a part-time basis. And in about 2012, 2013, that's when I started to focus on really becoming more of a full-time business. And at that point, I really didn't even know that I could turn it into a business that was more than me. And people were skeptical, saying, how are you going to turn this into a business? You're a bookkeeper. My thought was, well, you just watch me. And so that's when I received an email from you, Michael, regarding your 7 secrets of growing your bookkeeping business. And that kind of wowed me. When I listened to that webinar and I watched everything that was involved in Pure Bookkeeping System, I was really quite wowed. And I decided that this was a journey that I needed to take. And so I spoke with you and looked into implementing systems in my business, because I was at a point where I was pulling my hair out and I was up all night and waking up in the middle of the night because things got really, really busy and out of hand and I couldn't find things. And truthfully, when I was looking into getting into Pure Bookkeeping Systems, it was more to kind of organize myself because I felt really maxed out. And that system has taught me that I can expand my bookkeeping business beyond anything I ever imagined when I first started this journey. And there's so much to this. I think we need to take it in stages, Michael.
Yeah. Well, I remember our first call together, and remember you sharing your vision of where you wanted to take your business. And I was so pleased to see you make such rapid gains in your business. And I think it's a testament to you once you, just like you said, look, people said, hey, you're going to be able to build a business? I don't know. And you're like, I'll show you, just watch me. I think that says a lot about you as an individual, about just going and taking action, which is so important.
Well, it is a little intimidating to dive in, but I'll tell you, I couldn't have done it without the support of Pure Bookkeeping, because the system is what guides you. It holds you accountable. It makes you take the steps that you need to take to get where you want to go. I could not be where I am right now had I not taken the leap and invested in a system that is amazing. I mean, I've never seen a system like Pure Bookkeeping. And it's really helped me kind of grow as an individual as well.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing it, and we're proud of what we've built and what the community has built and contributes. I mean, it's not just Pure Bookkeeping, but the entire community that of great people like you, bookkeepers like you, that support each other in getting the results in their business. I'd love for you to share a little bit about where you are now, because you've done a lot of work. And in those first couple of months of starting, you made some gains. Share a little bit about that and what your life is like now, because I think that's inspiring for our listener to hear that, having the business that they love, that gives them the type of lifestyle that they want, as well as the income that they want and freedom that they want. I think that's really inspiring to hear others who have gone and built it.
Well, I can tell you that, in the beginning, when I first started turning it into more of I say business, but we all know it's a practice, because if it's just you, it's a practice. If you don't do the work, you don't get paid. And I never really thought about, what happens after this. So I maxed my time out, and I've maxed my rate out, which I thought was an appropriate rate at that time. Turns out it wasn't. It was much lower. And at that point, I really had, 2 big clients and a few small ones. And when you put all your eggs in one basket like that, you can run into trouble. And I actually did. I lost one of those clients. I went through a rough time, and I lost kind of track of what I was doing, and I lost one of them. But what happened, it was because I had the system sort of building up and showing me how things should be done properly and how that equates to my value as a bookkeeper, because I am a good bookkeeper. I know what I'm doing, and I don't skimp on things. I think it's really important to, dot all your I's and cross all your T's. It guided me along to a point where I knew that I could grow this based on the systems that were in place, regardless of how many clients I had at the time, because new clients come along all the time. And in the beginning, you will take every single client you get because you think, oh, wow, somebody wants my business, so I'll take them. And you get those people that just do not value what you do. They have no respect for your knowledge, and they become a pain, like they're just more hassle than they're worth. So what happens when you start implementing systems and learning how to grow and recognizing your value is you get to a point where you not only have control over your workday, but you also get to pick and choose your clients, because you're now in demand. Your clients know that you get things done on time. You don't miss deadlines because of your systems that you've got in place. You don't spend time struggling to find, where did I put this file? Where did I put that file? You know where everything is at the drop of a hat. It's so systematic. You can also now bring someone else in, because you can they learn Pure Bookkeeping system. They know your processes. You've already evaluated them as a bookkeeper. You bring someone else in. They're doing things exactly the same way you're doing it, and you're now freed up. You can move on to things that are more important to you. You're still picking and choosing your clients because now you have more value, which I found, by the way, just in the first year of implementing PBS, my value went up tremendously because I recognized that I was putting more work into smaller clients that weren't really appreciative, whereas I could use the knowledge that I had and the experience that I had to attract those more high-end clients. Basically your business, that's what you want.
So awesome. And now you talked a little bit about systems, and I think it's for those that are listening that don't know what a system is, because often people think of software. It's like a software system, right? But really, systems and process is different. Standard operating procedures. It's like a guide that it's like, this is how you do it, right down to the nth degree. Talk a little bit about that to help our listener understand what a great system should look like in your business.
Okay. Well, first of all, I recommend everybody reads the E-Myth Bookkeeper. That really helps you to understand why a system is important, because your business cannot operate without you if you don't have a system in place. And if you don't have a business that can operate without you, you are basically a slave to your business. You can't grow. So a system is when everything that needs to be done in your processes is documented, and it's very granular. You have literally checklists for each procedure. So that would involve things like payroll processing, source deductions, HST, onboarding, client documents. You have everything in one place. So when you don't have a system in place, a client calls you up and, you may have your own internal checklist of things that you need to get from the client. You may not. You may have it all in your head. If you have it in your head, it is imperative that you document it, because every time you bring on a new client, you need to go through the same procedure over and over again. And you miss things along the way. And then, 6 months in, you think, oh, geez, I never asked the guy for his articles of incorporation. Well, that's something that a good bookkeeper would have at the very beginning. You make sure you have all of your documents in place so that you can move forward and provide the best service for that client. So systems, I don't know how to explain it. I cannot even imagine at this point going backwards to working without a system. You are frazzled. A system will not only enable you to grow, it will enable you to have peace of mind because you know that things are done and they're done right.
Beautiful. I think it's beautifully said. I mean, it helps people understand, and really thank you for the recommendation on E-Myth Bookkeeper, which was written by Debbie Roberts, our co-founder, and Peter Cook, our co-founder, and of course Michael Gerber, who is the king, if you will, or what do they call him? The guru. He is the system-driven guru. That Inc. magazine called him the world's greatest small business coach, really.
Excellent read. Excellent.
Yeah, excellent stuff. I love Michael Gerber, so it's a good read, and will give definitely the listener an understanding of how to build a system-driven business. Now, did systems help you, though, as a solo? As a solo practitioner, did it help you when you were just yourself working with yourself?
Oh, absolutely. And that was my big question to you at the beginning. Is this going to help me? And you assured me that it would. And it did, because it helped me gather my existing clients and put things in order, even just the filing system, the protocols for filing within your systems. I don't really know how to explain it to people that aren't familiar with the system, but there's a protocol that we follow for filing documents, for filing reports, which reports are filed, how they're labeled. That in itself allowed me to be far more efficient because I knew where everything was. I could find things so quickly. So let's say, for example, you have, let's say 5 clients, and they've all got different aspects to their business, and you have, a client folder, let's say it's on Dropbox or whether it's on your desktop, Google Docs, it doesn't matter. But you don't really have a format for filing things. So let's say your client calls you up and says, oh, I need to know something about this, this, or this. And you now have to go through that file folder and figure out, where did you put it? And I've been in that spot where I've been embarrassed on the phone because somebody's on the phone waiting for information and I can't remember where I put the file. So when you have a system in place, you don't even question it. You know exactly where it is. It's immediate because it's the same for each client, which also makes it the same for your staff. They have no issues.
Beautiful. Well, that's streamlining, and so you essentially streamlined your entire practice as a solo, which gave you better efficiency, the ability to deliver a better product to your clients, and now you've got staff, and so that's where you've started to leverage. And what's life like now as opposed to then with staff and systems and process in your life?
Oh, life now is I, get the kids to school in the morning and I get organized. I get on my computer about 9:30. I work, and by 5 o'clock at the latest, my computer is shut off. My clients know don't contact me at night. I do not work on the weekends, and I make sure that I get, if I take on a new project, I make sure that I have the time to do it within my regular business hours. I don't sit there at night and wonder what I've forgotten to do. I don't panic over the weekend. I don't work on the weekend and stress myself out. That family time is really important to me. So having has allowed me to basically have a 9-to-5 job with freedom to take time off to go to my kids' events at school or run out to the doctor, dentist, whatever I need to do, because I know everything is in order.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's family first, and you've built a business that's delivered the promise. I don't think there's many business owners out there that can say they've actually had the promise of having their own business delivered to them, which is, people want to make more money, they want to have more freedom and have more fun, and it looks like you've been able to do that for yourself, and the true winner is your family.
Oh yeah, family is very important, and I've done that from the beginning. I don't want to be sitting in an office and worrying about what the kids are doing. And I mean, my kids are a little bit older now, but at the time when I was starting, it was very important for me to be home, create an income, but also be available for my kids. If the school calls, and I'm around the corner. So that's been a huge, huge benefit. And let me touch on the money bit there for a second. If you focus on the money, you're going to have an issue. What you need to do is focus on the value that you're creating for your client by implementing systems, because then you're at your best. The money will come naturally because your value has just shot through the roof.
I love that. And natural price pressure, natural attraction of more money just simply by working on delivering more value.
Yeah, I mean, you do get what you pay for. You've heard that saying: if you hire an amateur, if you think it's expensive to hire a pro, wait until you hire an amateur. You know that saying, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a natural flow. If you put everything in place, you're giving that client the very best that you can give them, and the money just comes naturally. Don't focus on the money; it'll happen.
Love it. Love it. Very inspiring. Now, you've spent a lot of time innovating as well in your practice, and even with the Pure Bookkeeping system in terms of your suggestions and contributions to Pure Bookkeeping have been incredible. But as well, you said, I want to have software that automates my systems and process, and you looked to Jetpack Workflow. Tell us a little bit, like, what was the turning point when you realized you needed practice management software?
Well, okay, so after getting everything in place, I'm now super busy, but I'm falling within the lines of what I want to do as far as work hours. So I needed to have some type of system that could track dates, things that needed to be filed for compliance for my clients, and just sort of an overall one-touch record of phone numbers, business numbers, that sort of thing. And so I did start with another software system, and it didn't work out for me because it wasn't cloud-based. And I came across Jetpack, and I find that the function of Jetpack is amazing. I can access it from anywhere. If I'm at my client's office, which I do occasionally, or I'm sitting here, or I need to refer to staff or somebody, it's all in one place. And what I found was I was creating tasks, jobs and tasks on Jetpack that were very similar to, the processes that I needed to follow in Pure Bookkeeping. And I thought, well, why wouldn't I just duplicate and put all of the processes that I need to follow in PBS onto Jetpack? And so I started with a few templates. I did it with Sage first, which is my least favorite software, I'm sorry to say. But I did start with that one because that was one of the more difficult clients. And I thought, okay, let's take all of the checklists that I need to use in Pure Bookkeeping, get this client on board with Jetpack, and see how it goes. And the functionality of it was incredible. And I kind of thought, wow, why not expand this? So I ended up adding all of the templates to Jetpack that correspond to Pure Bookkeeping. And now when I onboard a new client, I literally log into Jetpack. I drop down whatever template I need for that client. Like if they don't have payroll, I don't need the payroll template. But if they have HST, I need to pull that one on. Anything to do with onboarding a new client documents, everything is right there in one touch. So that has saved me so much time and so much stress about worrying how to get this client onboarded properly and how to maintain their books.
It's incredible. And you spent a lot, just hearing you talk about it, you spent a lot of time working on creating this. How much time do you think you've spent building out Jetpack Workflow for your business?
A lot of time, but I can tell you that anytime you put into any system that's going to streamline your business and make it more efficient is well worth it.
The reason I ask is I want to give, when you're sharing the success, it's often people will look at successful people and say, oh, well, they're an overnight success. And they don't see the blood, sweat, tears and the 20 years prior that it took to get to where they're at. But
Right.
what I love about any great story is when, my own personal journey is when, the harder you work, the longer it takes. Often you eventually get something that you truly cherish and love. And especially from a motivation standpoint for our listeners, is that when you know that if you're building a business, like we know is a big bookkeeping business, a thriving one, a successful one, a highly profitable bookkeeping business is very, very possible. I mean, it's not uncommon. I mean, it's not like everybody has them because they're not doing the right things, they're not taking the right actions. But to know that what you're building, if you really want that, if you want to have that kind of a life, it's very possible, and it just takes work. And when you put in the work and the actions, you take the right actions, you will be able to have this outcome. So I think it's a motivator to think every day for you, Lisa, you wake up, you're building an asset, you're building your future, you're building your retirement. And I just love hearing about it.
Well, that's great. And I can tell you as well, this point in time is also sort of a shift for the bookkeeping world in general. I know there were a few kind of new bookkeepers who were a little bit panicked with all the apps that are coming out. They're saying 5-minute bookkeeping, and apps like apps like Receipt Bank and HubDoc that are saying they can pull the data for you, and bookkeepers are thinking we're not going to have a business. All this stuff's going to be automated. Well, I can tell you that that's not what's happening. You still need a bookkeeper who's going to put things into place. But what it does do is it eliminates a lot of the data entry that the bookkeeper needs to do, and it gives us opportunities to step up our game. We are now in a position of being more in an advisory role to our clients. So it's kind of in between the bookkeeper and the accountant. Clients are now looking for more guidance from their bookkeepers. And so having your systems in place ahead of time by having put all that work in gives you opportunity to really step up your game and be available to those clients who need more than just data entry and compliance. They want to know, what can you tell us from our books? Where should we go from here? We need your help with business decisions. And that's where I think having all of this in place is really going to show those bookkeepers who really want to build a good business that they are worth something very valuable to their clients, and their years and years of experience is finally going to pay off. But you need to put the work in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love
and
that.
It's not hard.
No, it's not hard. It's actually quite simple. It does take time, and it does take energy, and it takes removing. Like there were sacrifices that you had to make to get to where you are now.
Oh yeah. I mean, back then when I was setting everything up, definitely evenings and weekends, they were full. I would work my full day with my clients. And then, I was working on my systems, and yes, you're exhausted, but I had that vision in my head that I knew something could come of this. I knew that I had it right in front of me. I had Pure Bookkeeping right in front of me. I had Jetpack right in front of me. Let's make this work. Just follow it. You've got to just jump in. And I'm one of those people that will stand on the side of the pool and put my toe in before I jump in, but not with this. With this, I went full on, put all of my energy in. My kids dealt with it. Mom's busy, but I always say to them, I'm busy right now because I'm working on something that's going to benefit us all in the long run. It's temporary. Yeah. And so it passes. And so now the next thing comes up, right? I'm always looking for more.
Exactly. Well, that's expansion and growth. And I know you've become a bit of a hero in the Pure Bookkeeping licensee member community because the hundreds of hours, the hundreds of hours that you've put into creating the Jetpack workflow integration is now literally being delivered to them at the flip of a switch, where all they need to do is just learn how to use it, and it's instantaneous that they can bring that level of streamlining to their business using Pure Bookkeeping and Jetpack, which is a big thank you to all our listening licensees, to you, Lisa, for doing that, and you've been really helpful in sharing your knowledge and what you've done. I mean, that's the cool thing I love about the Pure Bookkeeping. Sorry, it's actually not the Pure Bookkeeping. It's the bookkeeping community globally. You are all just such generous people sharing. It's almost like I had a bookkeeper had a conversation with someone that I had just met, and she was saying, when I first got into the business, I thought, it's like competitors. Like I'm gonna I'm going to have a conversation with a competitor. Will they do bookkeeping? And then she realized that when she met them, that person treated them like almost like a partner, like a peer. And it's not, it almost like there are competitors, but it's such a almost indirect, because there's so much opportunity in the marketplace. So many business owners need bookkeepers and there's a limited supply of them, that it's such a collaborative and sharing and generous community. And that's why I love doing the podcast. I love working with bookkeepers, but you're definitely...
Oh, it's a great community. It's fabulous. We are really, really big on helping each other out. You can put any question out there and somebody will respond, and you get several different perspectives, which really helps you make the right decision if something comes up, or even just something that you haven't experienced before. The community itself is so welcoming. Nobody shoots you down, and I find that especially the newer bookkeepers that come on board, they need so much direction, and they're listening to bookkeepers that have been doing it forever, who know things like the back of their hand, and we want to share that. We want to help people succeed. You don't succeed in life by knocking other people down and stepping on them. You succeed by helping them.
Absolutely. And it's, I think that's what we pride ourselves on with the Successful Bookkeeper Facebook community, is that we don't tolerate any negativity. There's no place for it. It's not needed. And it's not like we need to police it that much. That's the cool thing, is that most are... like the 99% of people that are on there are totally positive, generous, and wonderful people. But if there is anybody on there that it talks, negatively to people or shoots people down or anything, it's like, bye-bye. Just, there's no place for it. And we pride ourselves on that because we have enough negativity in the world. We don't need to have it in our own communities, right?
No, it's a great space. It really is a great space to communicate, to put things out there, and just in general follow what people are doing, see what people are coming up against, and see how people are struggling to build their business and guide them, help them out. And when I say struggle, I mean they might be stuck on an issue. Well, there's lots of members that can help them out, and it's definitely a community that wants to help each other grow.
Beautiful. Now, so you've created a lot of freedoms in your life, freedom in your business. You have some staff. You have the ability to remove yourself a little bit from the business now. What's the future look like for you? Where are you going? What things are you going to be doing?
Oh, my. So right now I am doing my certification for Profit First, which I could never have done, in my opinion, had I not set all of this up, because I am using now my bookkeeping business that I have created as a tool, because what I can offer people in the Profit First realm is now more of a cash flow management system, more of how to get them out of debt, how to have their tax obligations already set aside. That's an amazing community in itself. But had I not put all of this in place, I don't think I could do what I'm doing with Profit First. So to me, it's just one step at a time. The business is now in place. It's almost like I don't really need to think about that as much, because I know that the bookkeeping will be done. It'll be done properly, to be documented properly. The audit trails are in place. Now I can spend more time bringing in those clients that, like I spoke of before, that really want more guidance in their business. So that's where I'm going now. I'm looking more towards the I don't want to say consulting. I don't like that word, but the advisory part of the bookkeeping position with the client.
Yeah, I think advisory is a great word.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. And, you spoke a bit about the role that bookkeepers need to up their game and use this as an opportunity, which it really is. But small business owners need someone to help them, right? And so who better than someone who has an incredible knowledge of their financial situation? It's a very trusted place and a powerful place. But it takes the confidence. You have to match your confidence with the owner's confidence and show up like a leader in the small business owner, and in presence of the small business owner, and lead them. Now, you've talked about being an advisory and Profit First. I mean, just another tool for you to use with these clients to help them be more profitable. I mean, what a great mixture. I love it. And I love Mike Michalowicz.
No, it's amazing.
He's a lot of fun. He's been on the podcast as well for listeners. I don't have the episode handy, the number of the episode handy, but if you go in there and search, you can find the episode with Mike Michalowicz and reach out to Lisa if you have questions about it. It's a beautiful program, and I've listened to his book. I think it's just so simple, in many ways.
Oh, and his energy is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the philosophy of it is great.
Exactly. It's all about the client. You have to make your work, everything that you do has to be about how can you benefit the client. And so this is why putting the systems in place is how you benefit the client. That's where you get the confidence, because you don't second guess yourself. You know things are done. You know everything is done the way it's supposed to be done, which gives you the confidence to step up your game.
Beautiful. And tell us a few stories of what have been the responses from some of your clients with this, the changes that you've made over the last couple of years.
Oh, I mean, I just get tons of positive feedback. And, I just met with a client yesterday and, I was telling him I can have a month where I'm just, working away and everything's smooth. And all of a sudden I get 6 inquiries, whether it's from, Google or QuickBooks, accountant online, that sort of thing. But all of a sudden I'll be inundated with clients. And I screen them out. And I've actually had clients email me back saying, do you even have bandwidth to accommodate this given your screening process? I do have a screening process because I don't have time for those clients who are shopping for the cheapest bookkeeper or somebody who just wants to, file their HST because it's 3 years behind. Yeah, I can help you with that, but that's not my focus. My focus is being able to pick and choose the clients that really want to benefit from what we can offer them. So the feedback all around has been very positive. I generally have a very good working relationship with my clients. They're not struggling. I do have a couple that are, and they are so excited to get this Profit First program in place. I'm just in my training stages on that right now, so I'm actually working with beta clients. But just in the little bit that we've done so far, they are stoked and ready to go.
Beautiful. That's excellent. And nothing like making people more money for getting a bit of positive feedback.
Well, yeah. I mean, I need to help them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. When they're making more money, you're their hero.
Well, it goes full circle, right? They make more money, you make more money, everybody's happy, everybody sleeps at night.
Exactly. It's that's we should have the theme music for It's a Wonderful Life. Really, it can be. Business often is not. And so when there's bright shining stars like that, it's exciting and it's not difficult. I mean, business has been around for thousands of years, and there are practices and processes that are benchmarked. They're just the standard. So human beings, we overcomplicate things and we make it difficult. So when we can streamline and simplify and bring the right actions to play, great things happen. And it can be really easy. That big easy button can be pressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? These people that take the risk to open up a business, and, they sacrifice family time and whatnot, they shouldn't be struggling with debt and not getting paid. And bookkeepers have such a crucial role right now because, the definition of a bookkeeper is somebody that, records all transactions within a business. That is so outdated because of the apps that are in place. Don't be intimidated by the apps. Use them to your advantage. Help your clients. These clients should be, rewarded for taking that risk and opening up a business.
Yeah.
Help them be successful.
Beautiful. I think under the definition of bookkeeper really needs to change to the shepherd of your finances is really,
that's a good one.
Really what the way I like to think of it is, and our great bookkeeper that we work with, bookkeepers, there's a team of them, they that do the pure bookkeeping books. I mean, we're a business too, so we need great bookkeepers.
Right.
For me, they occur like my shepherd, right? I know the flock of our dollars are being cared for, and it helps give us the knowledge and information to make sure the herd of our money, our profit, stays healthy and vibrant and does what it needs to do. And that lets me sleep at night. So I just think it's a perfect analogy or metaphor, if you will, for bookkeepers. They are the shepherd for your finances. So That may be
Beautiful.
a new podcast coming out. I don't know, maybe. This has been so great, Lisa. Now, I want to share some really great resources that you've been a part of recently that our listener can take advantage of. You did a webinar with myself and as well with David Cristello from Jetpack Workflow, where he actually unpacked and demonstrated how you're using Jetpack Workflow in your practice. And I just want to let the listener know that in the show notes of this episode, there's a link where you can go and register and watch that replay. I think that's a really good opportunity. And of course, if you're interested, there is the 7 Secrets of Growing Your Bookkeeping Business program. You can do that online, and as well, we'll have some notes. And Lisa, thank you for mentioning that. It really is
I highly recommend that.
Yeah, great place to start.
Highly recommend that to all of your listeners.
Beautiful. And of course, the group. If you want to interact with wonderful people like Lisa, get onto our Facebook group, The Successful Bookkeeper on Facebook. If you just search that and join if you haven't already, and you just have a chat with Lisa. If you have questions or want guidance or inspiration, get in there. The community is there for you. Don't do it alone. There are many others that are generous and want to help you have the business that you love and the future that you love. So come and join us. Lisa, this has been so great. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Anything else you want to add in terms of if people want to get in touch with you or work with you?
I would say absolutely be a part of the Facebook group. It's a wonderful resource. I'm on there all the time. I try and help as much as I can. I don't know everything, but I ask questions too, Definitely join that. Definitely read E-Myth. Definitely do the 7 Secrets program. They really make you see things from a different perspective, and it's going to change your game.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much. And we'll look forward. Yeah, we'll look forward to having you back in maybe another year, maybe even sooner than that, because you've got so many things going on that are awesome. So thank you.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, that wraps another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. To learn more about today's guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.